What's going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's get into the weekly update. All right, let's get it going with the weekly charts. Then we're going to move down to the daily charts and discuss what we're paying attention to going into this week. All right, so let's point out some key things we got going on here on the weekly charts. QQQ, inside week, bearish Rami candlestick. Larger lower wick than upper wick, but overall just an indecision candlestick made off of lower volume. Now let's point out the last few times you had an inside week off of that lower volume, regardless of the volume, inside weeks. That's what we're going to pay attention to right here. Got one going on right there. You got one going on right there. All right, you got that one going on right there. You got an inside week right here, here. All right, and then we could point these out right here. All right, so these are the ones that we had so far in 2023. All right, you did have one. No, that was December. All right, so these are all of the inside weeks that we had in 2023. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can call these just the same. All right, so we'll say 8 because, you know, those were the same exact occurrences. All right, you kind of have that going on over here, but I do want to point out, all right, out of these 9, we only had 1, and then we had 2 that did end up bringing us downside. And I do want to point out, this was done off of high volume. You had this bearish candlestick, shooting star candlestick off of high volume. Over here, you did not have the lowest of volume going on over here on this one. Regardless, it was a bearish candlestick. You do not have that going on right here. All right, the last 2 times, all right, we had a similar setup to what we got going on over here, which is an inside bar with very low volume going on. You could see that right there. You could see that right there. See that? All right, guys, we saw up weeks. All right, so you saw this week following that one. You saw this week following that one. I think that's extremely similar to what we got going on over here. Let's talk about what we are paying attention to. Let's just get rid of all the things that we just put on the charts, all of these arrows. Let's make this a pretty chart again. All right, nice and clean. There we go. And now what are we really paying attention to? If you want to get bullish on this thing, what are you looking for? You're looking for a break of 454. All right, or not 454, 381. On SPY, it's 454. 381 over there. That is what I'm going to say. We're very likely just revisiting 390, then above 390. You have absolutely nothing until you come up here to 400 bucks. All right, so that is going to be a big move. All right, keep in mind, guys, this is on the weekly chart. We're going to take a look at the daily chart in a few minutes. But on the weekly chart, where we just get to take a step back, relax, and just look at the big picture, you don't have much to worry about here. All right, guess what? You break above here, you're looking for a move up here. You break above here, you're looking for a move up there. All right, that is when you break the 0.786 fib, 381. Now, let's say we stall out here and we come down here and break underneath our new support over here. All right, so the low of this candlestick is 370.47. If we were to do that, that is what I'm going to say. We're likely going much lower. You will have nothing until all the way over here. All right, and that will effectively put you in a downtrend on the weekly time frame. And guess what, guys? That has not happened in a very long time. If that does happen, I'd say we probably are going to get a rather significant amount more of downside. And like I just pointed out, you will not have any point of structure until you come all the way back down here, all right? You do have this going on right here, all right? But as you see, we are just going to be paying attention to this because that is the more relevant level. And this is a structure that got filled over here. You kind of just broke through it and you never came back for the retest, right? So it's untouched structure. That is what I will be paying attention to if we come down here, all right, guys? So very simply here, you break the 0.786. We're very likely coming up to the top. If you come up to the top, you're very likely going to break and you go up to 400 bucks. That's the bullish scenario, all right? If you break down, you break under, what is it? What did we just say? It was 370.47. Yeah, you break 370.47. That is when you got absolutely nothing until you come all the way back down here. All right, all the way back down to, yeah, all right, 334. All right, and what was I just saying about 370? All right, the high was 370. The low was 354.71. My apologies. My apologies there. All right, but those are the 2 scenarios you're paying attention to over here on QQQ. The same thing goes for SPY. All right, you have this Fibonacci retracement right here. Guess what? All right, you break above 454. That is when things are going to get spicy. We're very likely coming back up to 460 and above 460. All right, you got nothing till 462 and above there, nothing to 470. All right, if we break the high, we're very likely it's going to be the same as when we broke the high over here. You had a very large amount, you know, to go there. Broke the high right here. All right, consolidate at the high right here. Broke it. All right, let's see. You had $16 more to go. All right, so if we do break this high, I think it's very likely we're going to come up to 470. So that's the bullish scenario you're paying attention to. You're watching for a break at this point, 786 fib, 454. That likely means we're going a lot higher. All right, and if you break down, that is when we will have a confirmed downtrend. If you break this level, it's 433.01. Yeah, 433.01. You break this low here, that is when you have a confirmed weekly downtrend. That hasn't happened in a very long time because we have not had a weekly downtrend since over here. You had a high, it's low, or high, all right? And over here, that is when from the low here, you broke it. You did end up going $12 lower. So if we break this, guys, the next major point of structure, yes, you have this heavily traded zone here, which should act as a demand zone like it did over here and it did over here. All right, but let's say you break that, you don't have anything until you revisit this like initial breakout of 420-ish. All right, so if you really get down here, you're putting in a new low. We probably do go $15 low. So that is something to be paying attention to. So on the macro time frame here, on the weekly, guys, all you're paying attention to is a break of the lows here or a break of the highs here. You go one way or the other. Don't gotta get it twisted. It does not have to be complicated. You come over here to DIA. All right, I'm gonna point out you have a hammer candlestick going on over there. All right. You do obviously have the break and retest of this inverse head and shoulders, but we'll stop reminding you of that. But until, you know, you start breaking down through here, you know, it still just looks like the break and retest. So that's going on. You could honestly just be flagging up here. All right. I'll call it a very ugly flag. All right. But that could be what's going on, just like this consolidation right there before this big move up. All right, regardless, what you're paying attention to over here is you're watching for a break of this high around 351. All right, high was 351.28. You break that, you're likely going to revisit the high. All right, you break down underneath this low, which you do see I have this level here, 350 or 343-ish right here. That's because you got 3 touch points going on there. If you break that, you're very likely revisiting the low. So if you break 343, I'm just going to say you're probably coming all the way back down here to 337. So if you are open to shorting DIA, that is what you're watching out for. All right, guys. So again, 2 scenarios. You break this level right here, we're coming up to the high, and you're likely gonna, you know, have a party up here and go a decent amount higher. All right. If you break the low here, likely coming all the way down here at 337, you're going a decent amount lower. All right. Very simple here on the weekly charts, guys. Very simple. IWM, you have, just like DIA had that inverse head and shoulders formation, you actually have a head and shoulders top right here. All right, with the neckline being this trend line. All right, so that is something to be paying attention to. You can watch that on the daily chart. You know, I'm not going to be playing it. I don't care. I'm just illustrative purposes. It's here. All right, that is your neckline right here, this upsloping trend line. And then I'm just going to say right now, confirmation. If you break underneath this low right here, which was at 381.61, all right, we are using, that's the level we're using is 180.37, which is the low of this candlestick right here. All right, is it? Am I bugging on the daily time frame? Okay, that is what we were paying attention to. I actually don't know why this is oh, it's from over here. Okay, it's okay, I see you right there. It's the low of this candlestick. I am bugging on my levels, guys. I was looking at the wrong one. I was looking at 182 or I was looking at 180 instead of this 182. All right, you break 182, that is when you're coming to 180.37. My apology, I flustered my own self. All right, you break down under there, guys. Very simple again. All right, you're coming down here. All right, if you break this high right here at 192-ish, just about 191.86, that is when you have nothing up until up here. All right, so let's just look at this. All right, $7 of upside. All right, what do we got over here? $8 of downside. All right, so that's literally all you got to be paying attention to. All right, but you do have both bearish structure going on over here on IWM. I will point out. All right, we do have decreasing volume going on here. So even though you have a big fat red candlestick, it was not done off of high volume like this one right here. All right, so you know, maybe it's not a reason to be you know, super bearish over here, but you do have bearish structure going on. All right, jumping over to the daily charts. All right, let's just change our layout right there. Come over here. All right, there we go. Now we're on the daily time frame, and I will acknowledge that we have a lot of lines going on here. All right, now we already talked about this that Fibonacci retracement there. We can be talking about is the one from this bounce. All right, so let me just put that back on the chart, and I will point out right now. All right, if you were a bull, all right, first of all, you don't want to see this low lost, right? So the low of 44275, you can see this level right here, right? You do not want to see that lost. If you do, you have a confirmed downtrend on the daily time frame. You will be confirming this is your lower high as compared to over here, and then we likely are going to be revisiting support down here, right? But just so I can declutter the chart and get this golden pocket off of my chart, all right, that is what you're paying attention on the downside if you want to be buying this knife, all right? Because once you have that downtrend, I'm just going to say it's not going to be your buying opportunity, all right? You know, the sell-offs are just going to be sell-offs. They're not going to be buying opportunities. Just like, you know, once we changed over here, this, as of right now, guys, we broke out over here past 44522, passed over here. All right, guess what? This sell-off right here, that was your buying opportunity. But if things change, then things got to change. That's just how it be. All right, so if you break 44275, you have absolutely nothing until you come all the way down here towards 437, and that is where the bottom of your golden pocket lies, the 0.786 fib around 437.50. All right, so if you are a bull and you want to buy this dip, that is where you're buying the dip. All right, you're not buying it right here. You can if you'd like. All right, but you're not doing it right here. This right here, this heavily traded zone, this is where you should be taking your longs. All right. Come over here to QQQ. All right, what are you watching over here? All right, well, if you break down through the low right here of 369.15, that was the low of this candlestick right here. If you break that, and let me just declutter this chart. I know we got a lot going on here. I'm sorry, I did that. All right, how do I do that? F12? Yeah. All right, so if you do end up breaking the low here, 369.15, that's when you're coming down to the next support at 366, but you really have nothing until 361.07. All right, if you break this right here, there's your $5 very clean short going on right here. But I'm just going to say right here, if you break this, you're probably going to see a swift move down here. And there's your $8 short. All right, so there's that. If you break out past 375, then you have absolutely nothing until you come all the way back up here to the 380.69 gap fill. All right, so that is just, and if you're new to the channel, all right, just know that the gap fills, or the gaps, are going to be green levels. The red levels are just our support and resistance. And then zones, there's red zones here. Those are your supply and demand zones. All right. So as you see, this is still being treated as a supply zone. You want to see price pop back above there and get a daily close. That would show us that there's an imbalance to the buy side. But as of right now, we have imbalance to the sell side. As you can see, this large upper wick that stemmed from our supply zone. All right. So that is pretty much it. That's very simple. You're watching for a break above here. You're looking for upside to up here at 380-ish, all right? If you cannot do that, that is when you are looking for a further move down, all right? If you break under 369.15, which is only $3 away, so there's, you know, that's not much on your contracts, all right? Guess what, guys? All right? Very easily wait for confirmation here, then you could take very easy shorts, all right? Confirmed shorts, all right? There you go. You break that level. You're going to revisit this level with all likelihood. And if you do that, I'm just going to say it's not like this was a strong level. This was a point of consolidation. So if you break it, you're very likely just going to come down here. All right. So there is your very clear as day short going on right there. All right. So that is pretty much over here on QQ. That is pretty much it. You do have this uptrend to be paying attention to, this upsloping trend line. You have one touch point, 2, 3. All right. If you break that, you have the bearish candlestick as well here. All right. It's not going to be the best look. SPY. Same thing. You got these 3 touch points right here. You get this bearish candlestick. If you break it, that is when, you know, things aren't going to be looking the best. All right. But over here in SPY for upside, you're looking for a break of this candlestick, which is going to be 447.11. If you look on the hourly time frame, I do want to show you guys something that I like over here in SPY. All right. You do have this inverse head and shoulders formation going on. And unlike QQ, your right shoulder, on the right here at the neck of this right shoulder, you did end up making a higher high, and then you have a higher low being formed right here on the right shoulder. On QQQ, you actually have a lower high right here, and you do have a higher low here, but you have a lower high. So automatically on SPY, all right, you have things in your favor. All right, as long as you come up here and break this, like, you're looking real good. All right, QQ, you would still be looking good. I'm just pointing out. All right, SPY already started the process of changing its trend, whereas QQ, all right, it could not get above there. All right, so definitely stronger over here in SPY than QQQ. All All right, that is just something I will point out. All right, but the neckline you're really paying attention to is going to be from that touch point to that. All right, so it's going to be a little sloppy, but it's going to be something like that. All right, regardless, QQQ, you break above 375.29, you got nothing till up here. All right, SPY, you break above 448.11, which if you break above 447.11, the high of this candlestick, you're probably just going to bust through this thing like butter. If you do that, you got nothing until all the way back up here at 451.55. All right, guys, so I hope that was pretty simple. All right, I didn't want to spend too much time to going in circles talking about the same stuff here. So I think I covered everything in you know, detail there. But let's just quickly go over the large components of SPY and QQQ before we close out this video. I do want to point out bearish candlestick over here on Apple. Right, and the daily time frame, things aren't looking good. What do I not like about this chart? I don't like we got the rebound. I really like that we got this rebound. All right, this is literally what we were looking for. All right, we're looking for a large $10 move. We got a larger than $10 move. You got a $17 move here. Why are we looking at that? Because the daily RSI, guys, it doesn't stay oversold and not get that massive move. It just hasn't happened. You can go like way back. It doesn't happen. All right, go back to 2020. All right. You know, that is where I was looking at it. And like all of these touch points, all right, all of them led to very significant bounces. So that is what I was looking for. I was not going to change my tune until we got it. Now we got it. Now I can change my tune. All right. Guess what, guys? You had this low going on right here. All right. You had this high. Now you have a lower low. That's not something I like. All right. I'm not too bullish on that one. Now you also have this gravestone doji candlestick, which could very well be a lower high. And then you come down here and you break this low right here, and then you have a confirmed downtrend. All right, just like over here, when you broke over here, you had this high, you had this low, you had this high. All right, boom, lower low. As of right here, this candlestick, and then you fell off a cliff. It was earnings. You fell off a cliff. All right. So largest component of SPY and QQ, not bullish. All right, I'm just gonna say not bullish. In my personal opinion, it's not looking the best. All right, Amazon doesn't look bad. All right, let's focus on the weekly charts here. All right, hammer candlestick over on Amazon, low volume. Don't like it too much. All right, Goog, I really like the setup, but it was off low volume. This back test, not something I really like. But I do like that you came back and perfectly bounced off this level here. Thursday into Friday, you got about $3.50 off of that. That was something we covered in the Sunday live stream. If you are new to this channel, just know we will have content every single day. We have a daily update from Monday through Friday, and then we have a weekly update on Saturday, and then a live stream going over 10 plus setups going into the week with 3-to-1 risk to reward ratios every single Sunday. All right, so stay tuned for that. We will have that for you guys tomorrow, and we will have a blast. All right, but Goog, I really do like the setup. I don't like that it was done off of low volume right there. But yeah, above here, guys, you have nothing until 141 gap fill up there. Meta, all right, Meta and big fat indecision candlestick. I know I got a lot of lines here on my chart. All right, they mean something to me. All right, but let's just declutter this chart while we are taking a look, because this stuff is not going to be relevant to us while we're up here. All right, I want to point out you clearly are in a rectangle here. You break to the upside, and you're probably having, you know, you're probably going to come up here, and then you're probably going to come all the way up here. All right, you're looking for a daily close above this 300-ish level right here. All right, if you break down underneath here, all right, 294-ish we'll call it. If you break 294, that is when you have absolutely nothing until you revisit down here. All right, so you're literally just not going to have any support until down there. There you go. There is your short over here on Meta. That is all you're paying attention to. This rectangle we got going on. Let me make it very clear. All right, this rectangle, whichever way you break, all right, you're probably going to have a rather significant move. All right, regardless, indecision over there at Meta. Microsoft, not looking too bad. All right, actually on the daily time frame, you do have a you got this going on right here. All right, so you did have this little inverse head and shoulders formation right here. All right, shoulder, head, shoulder, neckline. All right, so you got that going on, but now you have a larger inverse head and shoulders going on. So I do like the setup. All right, you got this being the left shoulder, this being your head, this being your right shoulder right there. I do like the setup, not looking bearish to me. So overall, guys, it's pretty mixed here on the individual components of SPY and QQ. Last one we will cover. We'll actually cover Tesla right after this real quick, all right? But NVIDIA, I'm just going to say this. This is another one, just like Apple, the large component over here, not looking good. All right. But what I will point out is you have this big fat red bar, minus $30 bar here. Guess what? It was on very low volume. Last one you got was over here. And then you had this big red bar, all right, minus $38, minus 8%. And then you completely recovered from there to a new high. All right. So low volume sell off over here. What you're really paying attention to over on NVIDIA, I'm going to take a trade off of this level this week with all likelihood. You got this level right here. All right. If you break the bottom of the zone, guys, which I marked with this level 453-ish around there, if you break through it on the hourly time frame, you have not had a close underneath there. If you get a close underneath it, that is what I'm going to say. You have nothing until over here, and you are very likely coming all the way down here to 435.78 for that gap fill. If you are an NVIDIA trader, there you go. There's your trade idea. Get an hourly close under here. All right. Risk that hourly candlestick. Once you get the close, let's just say it goes like this. You have the top here being your wick. Here's where you buy in. All right. Guess what? You're doing a little something like this. All right. You're buying in somewhere over there. Use the top of that candlestick as your stop. Boom. I know, not the best risk to reward ratio. Hopefully the candlestick comes out a little better. Regardless, I really do like this. You have a very large amount of downside. It's likely to all happen within one day. All right. So I don't know when that's going to happen this week, but if you're planning on, say, it happens towards the end of the week, there we go, guys. All right. We're talking, 1 to 2 days on our contracts. They're going to be extremely cheap. And there we go. Big gains. All right. If it happens at the beginning of the week, still good gains. Maybe we get 100% on that move, 100, 150. I don't know. All right, we'll have to see, all right? But let's close things out with Tesla, and let's get on our way because it is the weekend. All right, here we go over here on Tesla. I'm going to point out I really freaking like the setup, all right? Just like I really like the setup, I was saying Tesla was my favorite setup over here. You had Tesla and Nike were my favorites, all right? Tesla, all right? Bull flag, breaks up, comes back, retests where it broke out from. Boom. Full flag on the retest. I really like the setup, all right? So I'm just going to point out Tesla looks like it wants some more, all right? You start breaking above 260-ish, guys. You're probably, yes, you have some resistance here. That's only $5 of upside, but I think you're very likely going to, you're probably going to, right here, guys, you don't have much going on here. If we really take a, yeah, you can see right here. All right, so this is what I was pointing out. Right here, once you get above here, you have nothing. All right, you have like not nothing, but you see exactly what I'm talking about. Price is going to move a lot easier once you're out of this. Let me just make it very clear. Boom. All right, where's that aligning with? You see this big fat red candlestick right there, right? This big volume candle, all right? Well, if you can get out of that, that is when, all right, you're going to have low volume up here, which means the moves likely get quicker. See this big fat green bar you got going on here? That is what I'm pointing at. If you break above this level right here, which is around, I just pointed out 260, all right? You break above 260, you're likely getting one of these big green bars. All right, so something to keep on your radar. Watch for the breakout. I'm actually going to once per bar. Yeah, once per bar close, guys. Bar close, yes. All right, crossing. There we go. All right, just another setup to keep on your radar. But like I said, live stream tomorrow. We will cover all of these setups, and we'll cover 10 plus setups that I pick and choose that have 3-to-1 risk reward ratios or higher. And then we also take ticker requests. So feel free to just let me know as I go over my setups. Let me know what you guys want to check out, and we'll gladly look over all of those. All right. With that being said, everybody have a lovely Saturday, and I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.